Hey guys, Tony Denaro here. Welcome back. For the past couple years, many of you have been asking me to provide some coverage on Lucid, one of the most beautiful high-end luxury vehicles in the EV market. We're going to go ahead and talk about it today and why I have a $5 to $6 price target where I would consider entering a position on Lucid. So let's go through their recent press release where they talk about the production versus deliveries for Q1, talk about some of the challenges ahead in 2023 for Lucid, and take a very quick look at the financials. Let's get right into it. Back in February of 2023, when Lucid reported their Q4 earnings, they told us that they had made in 2022 7,180 vehicles and provided production guidance for 2023 of 10,000 to 14,000 vehicles. Now, we got an update yesterday, April 13th. Let me go ahead and pull that one up. Yesterday, on the 13th, Lucid announced that the first quarter results will be published on Monday, May 8th. With a conference call at 2:30 p.m. But the important bit of news in this press release is that in the first quarter, they produced 2,314 vehicles and only delivered 1,406 vehicles. And a lot of people are wondering, what exactly does that mean for Lucid? On top of yesterday's news, about 2 weeks ago, March 28th, we got a notice from the company that they were going to do a workforce reduction of 18%. So what does all this mean? Let's dig into it a little bit deeper. Today on Friday, Lucid is trading at $7.61, down about 8% from yesterday based on that news about the production versus delivery numbers. And when we look back to 2021, where we had highs as high as $50 or $60 for Lucid, a lot of people might be wondering, is $7.60 a good price? Should I be buying Lucid right now? Why is it down? What the heck's going on? Lucid makes a fantastic, very nice looking car, high-end luxury vehicle. These cars cost $100,000 to $140,000. Very premium product, and I have no problem with their products. I like the CEO. I like the company. But the fact is, when you're starting up a car company, it is damn expensive. And the challenge that every single automotive startup company has is having enough production to offset that huge amount of capital they need to outlay up front. So let's talk about numbers for a second from the latest 10K, and we'll talk about them again in May. This will be a very high level pass because I don't want to bore you. You've probably already seen these. In fact, I want to show you my pictorial representation of how I view this company, just so you can get in my head. This is a little tool that I came up with. We look at some key factors in analyzing the company, and we have our gold standard here, something like a Costco, where all these boxes are green. And we look at something like Lucid, they still have some red and yellows, and that is going to mean that this is still a speculative play. Probably kind of obvious to you when you're in a startup EV company, right? But that means don't fall in love with a stock. Don't get so enamored with the vehicles that you overlook the numbers, the black and white, the financial statements. On the red boxes, the company's not profitable. It has a negative return on equity. There is a high short interest, indicating that there are some problems at the company that are attracting short. Some people get excited about high short interest, and if some good news drops, absolutely, that could make a little short squeeze happen. But you should also be asking yourself always, if there's high short interest, is there some problem I need to dig into and understand why shorts are being attracted to this company? On earnings per share, it is a yellow. That means in this case for Lucid, it is improving, but it's still a negative earnings per share. So we're going to track that momentum and make sure that every quarter that it continues to increase. Dilution risk is medium. The company still has plenty of cash, at least enough to last 12 months. And for that, they get a green box right here on their cash position. Debt to equity is fine. Working capital is fine. And here on the bottom left, revenue growth rate, 2,143%. That's a healthy increase from the prior year. But we always need to keep in mind, revenue growth rate does not overcome the fact that the company's not profitable. We want to see revenue growth rate of at least 10% and a profitable company to know that we are in a fairly solid play. Okay, so why do I have a $5 to $6 price target of where I would consider investing my money in Lucid? And yes, we can all see the run up to almost $18 a couple months ago when the news came out that the Saudis might be investing more money in Lucid. I don't want to gloss over that. Let's talk about the price target and look at a couple of numbers from what Lucid told us in their latest 10K. We know that Lucid is finishing out the build of their facility in Arizona, and they've started building another one in Saudi Arabia. So one thing that I want to look at for myself, first of all, is what is their CapEx going to be for this year? And we have that here in the latest 10K that they anticipate capital expenditures in the range of $1.5 to $1.75 billion for the fiscal year 2023. CapEx is just one part of the analysis, though. If we go over and look on the income statement up here in 2022, we can see they had $608 million in revenue and a loss from operations of $2.59 billion. And when we come over to the cash flow statement, net cash used in 2022 in operating activities was $2.2 billion. Net cash used in investing activities, including purchases of property, plant, and equipment, was negative $3.6 billion. They did have $1.3 billion provided by financing activities, and that includes proceeds from the issuance of common stock under the ATM and proceeds from issuance of common stock under subscription agreement. Okay, Tony, you say, well, that's all well and good, but why do I care? Why aren't you showing me some Wyckoff charts or some TA and let me know what the stock is going to do next week? Guys, I really don't care what the stock is going to do tomorrow or next week. I'm looking for a good entry into this company. And when I'm looking at investing in a company that has no profits and negative earnings, it is critical to understand the foundation of the financials of the company so that you can look past next week and some TA on a chart and have a better idea about what the next 12 months is going to look like for this company. If we step back past the hype of the clickbaiters that are giving you TA charts and look at the economy, look at the interest rates, look at the state of the world right now, look at competitors lowering prices. If we look at the press release that they are laying off 18% of the workforce, if we look at yesterday's press release on the difference between production and deliveries, that tells a story that in my worldview, I should not ignore. It is true, Lucid has almost $4 billion in cash and cash equivalents, but you can see the revenue numbers from 2022 and they produced about 7,000 vehicles and they are losing a substantial amount of money. So I want to see those production numbers really go up and the delivery numbers. We got to notice just yesterday that they produced 2,300 cars, but only delivered 1,400. That is not going to be a great quarter for Q1. They're really going to need to pump up those numbers in the remaining 3 quarters, and we got the economy to deal with. So these are a lot of things to think about if you, like me, are considering making an investment into a company like Lucid. And I think that right now, for me, those numbers say it's okay to be patient. This company might even need to raise some more money, and that might be why that rumor came out recently about Saudi Arabia. Were they going to take it private, or are they going to buy more stock in a private issuance? We will have to wait and see. That was an unsubstantiated rumor and nothing really came of it, but I would not be surprised to see some additional cash raise on Lucid later this year. And that means for investors, you don't want to be paying too much for this stock right now. Lucid is a speculative stock. And if you're a gambler and you want to get in right now and hope for some good news, absolutely, you could make some money on a good news pop. But for me, even if I was to trade Lucid on speculation, I still would want to get the absolute best entry possible. And I think that there is some chance that Lucid could go down a little bit further. So I am going to choose to remain patient. That's not financial advice. I can't tell you where the stock is going. Nobody has a crystal ball. All I can do is read the financials and give you my thoughts and what I plan on doing. I am Tony DeNaro. Thank you for watching, and I will see you on the next video.